tonight and tomorrow.
Appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Hey, Tyler, also one more thing. Next year when we go to the Super Bowl parade, bring some jumper cables so we don't have to worry about finding a jump box again.
He gone.
He didn't.
All right.
I don't
He gone.
remember that, Gary?
Wait,
Yeah.
when was that?
Yeah, when we came back from the parade, when we got to the U-Click van, the battery had died.
Yikes.
So luckily somebody gave us a jump, and we were able to get going.
Good.
Um,
Great.
But yeah,
It
so
was cold. It was super cold.
it was.
Oh, my God.
I was so, just done.
He was so, well, let's put it bluntly, pissed at me.
Who, Gary?
I wasn't pissed. I was just
he's
done.
pissed. He's probably pissed at the situation
Yeah, I was.
because if I know anything about my best buddy Gary Carl, not a cold weather guy.
No, he's not. He's like, why don't you maintain this thing and winter maintenance is better?
I didn't say that.
No, I'm just joking.
He said, right on.
It was cold, though.
It was. So, Tyler Jones, great guest. We kind of a last-minute deal, able to get in touch with him through Jim this afternoon and get him to come in because we kind of just planned this show last night with you just getting back. We weren't sure, exactly what the schedule was going to be like this week. And
Yeah, schedule's loco, especially like getting Mason ready for school and like all this other stuff. Which she's going to school.
starts school Monday, right?
Monday starts school full time. This week we were trying to figure out like who's gonna because his normal sitter is no more this week, so we were like trying to iron it all out, and that was like, the best times is like tonight, tomorrow night, and then I'm working all the time, so back at work. I mean, I'm on vacation. As I told Christy, I got to figure out how to retire right now, and I couldn't come up with anything, so I got to go back to work.
Yeah, we didn't get that $1 million sponsor.
I got a winning lottery ticket at home, so I'm ready to quit and then host a long show with weekend engagements, all kinds of sporting events where you can drag your wives and kids to.
Yeah, that's
All right,
great. Yeah, you pay us the full time salary.
Yeah.
I'll do an 8-hour show. Shoot.
I don't think you can find it. If you did an 8-hour
Just
show,
rambling. We just ran all kinds of weird stuff
Hey,
we'd be doing.
I will say this: last week, each day we were on 3 to 4 hours every day, Jim.
yes,
And just kind of that was tough enough, and we had interviews scheduled every 30
Yeah.
minutes.
Yeah.
And when the interviews would go through, some days they got more of Gary rambling than they probably wanted the audience. But
Just ran. What do you ran? I watched some of it when I was down there. It's like say everybody was napping. I'd like flip it on, but Gary on his COVID rants. Is that what's going on?
yeah, it was just I was trying to find something to talk about, anything to talk about.
Well,
if we were missing an interview there or whatever.
Did you notice in the breaks you had a harder time finding something to talk about because you were talked out from talking to a coach for like 30 minutes?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
We just come up with some random stuff like, all right, me and Gary are gonna see how fast we can eat this full rack of ribs.
Yeah.
Just like rando things.
So the Royals were supposed to play tonight.
What happened?
Wait, why are they not?
They are not playing because I guess they were supposed to play the Reds, and some Reds players had COVID, but it's gone now. But they're just giving them kind of an extra day to make sure that everything is gone, and so they're going to play a doubleheader tomorrow against the Reds. So,
I expect. Actually, they're playing better lately.
they are.
They went on like this losing streak that was crazy, and they looked like the worst team in baseball. And then all of a sudden they kicked it up, and they went on like a five game winning streak.
No, 4.
4, and then they lost, and they won. This and that.
Yeah.
Okay.
They got 9 wins now.
So for 9 and what are they? 9 and what? 4? What are they? What's the record, man? I need to know.
9 and something.
Me and Gary got a
wager?
Yeah, not with each other. With us
another
two
friend.
both have a wager with our buddy Joey, and I've also bet this on Bovada for the over, which is over was 24.5 wins. So we need them to win 25 games. So maybe 16 more wins, baby. Let's go.
Okay, I got a question for you guys.
I got an answer.
All right, give me a grade on who's handled COVID the best in keeping in soccer, basketball, hockey, baseball. Who gets the best grade and who gets the worst grade and who's in between?
What you got, Gary?
I got to go NBA.
Yeah,
handled the best. They did the bubble. I know
agree.
soccer did too, but I feel like NBA was the best. Probably soccer was next. I think baseball's last.
Well, the NHL's in there too, though.
I haven't paid. I have no idea.
I haven't kept up on NHL as far as COVID cases
Hey, my
go.
Celtics won last night, though.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. They look good, too. They look good doing it. I saw your post on that.
Beanie babies flying in Beantown.
They look good, man. They got a nice young core. And so, I mean, they look a lot better. The Bucks played this morning, which are the number 1 seed in the East. They lost by 10. But the Celtics got a nice young core of players that they're pretty good. But I'd have to also say the NBA. I actually don't know on NHL numbers as far as, like –
well, they're playing on ice, so they're frozen up.
I mean, they're in a bubble, so I don't think they've had really any cases either.
I think NBA is 0, isn't it?
Yeah. Baseball's the one that's really been.
But they're not in a bubble, so it's harder.
You know what? I would
baseball guys are different.
One thing I will say, as far as like how they've set it up, the MLB's actually done for as open ended as what they're doing as far as traveling and all that stuff goes. I think they've done a pretty good job, like while they've been playing. I think getting to the point where they were going to play again was definitely last place as far as like the negotiations, because they really was a point where they thought there's no MLB going to happen. It's not going to happen. It's over. Whereas the NBA and the NHL and MLS were all like, yeah, they're playing for sure. They're going. Like there was no doubt those guys were going to play. They were just ironing out the details. And so the real thing is I actually think MLB really has while they've been playing, has done a nice job.
Yeah.
And even like today with the Reds, like, okay, these guys had COVID, let's chill for a little bit. We'll play a doubleheader tomorrow. Great. So as far as that goes, they've done okay, but like, yeah. But the NBA, man, it's been entertaining games. The virtual fan thing has been pretty cool.
That has been cool.
Yeah, I was like watching that stuff. I'm like, dude, and they have guys like pop in that are like celebrities. Shaq pops in, like Paul, what's his name? Paul Pierce popped in on one game. Like these different celebrities pop in. One guy had a goat or something. Like,
oh yeah,
had a goat on his thing. They had Kyle Lowry, his kids, through the virtual fan thing, introduced him into the game last night, which was really cool. And so the NBA's done a really nice job with this deal. And one thing too, it's hard to keep these dudes not stir crazy. So they've done a really good job at creating this like village that has like a barbershop and like little things they can do to kind of stay like kind of normal instead of like, okay, play a game, okay, go to your hotel room and do nothing.
Yeah,
so they've done a good job on that.
Yeah, the Royals are 9-14.
It's all right.
The Reds are 9-11. So they played less games because of COVID. But
hey, Reds aren't good, man. Here we go.
So we could win
tomorrow.
Yeah, we're going to play 2 games tomorrow against the Reds. First one is at 4:05, and then the second one is scheduled for 7:05. So, and remember, doubleheaders are 7 innings, so they only play 7 in doubleheader days this year. So we'll see how that works out. But yeah, the Royals, they're playing better right now, and so I think they're looking up, and we're going to get those 25 wins.
We are definitely going to get the 25 wins. Do I think we're going to get a lot more than that? I don't know about that.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if we'll get to 30, but we'll definitely get to 25.
No, I don't know about that. They have to get like mega hot to hit that stuff. But like, yeah, man, Salvi Perez has been on a tear the whole season. This guy is bombs. He's hitting really well and just been lights out. Of course, Merrifield's been good. Gordon's come up in some nice spots. Some of the other young guys have not been doing great. I'll tell you what, the pitcher that's been doing nice. Who we watched the other night? I was texting you about. Was it Keller?
Oh yeah. Was it Singer?
No, is it Singer or no? That's Singer, right?
Yeah, Brady Singer, young kid, looks like he's 12.
Lights out.
Yes, he has pitched great.
And Matt Harvey. Actually, they're calling Matt Harvey up too. And if anybody, I don't know if you remember Matt Harvey.
Yeah, he was here a while ago.
So they're calling him up.
Yeah.
So New York, what Royals fans should remember him for is New York Mets.
Didn't he throw a fit or something?
Yes, because So we're losing. That's a tight game. The Mets go ahead and pull him, and then when their bullpen comes in, boom, we took advantage of him. And Harvey's like throwing stuff like, "What the heck? Like I was on fire, and you pulled me out." So Matt Harvey was he was the ace. Maybe like the 2. Syndergaard is probably the ace. Either way. Matt Harvey was like the man. I actually think since that time he has like I know that Super Bowl hangover type thing, but sort of. And so like they've really tried to. There's the Reds. He played for the Reds a little bit last year, and he really is trying to mount a little bit of a comeback. And the thing about Matt Harvey and that stuff is where we got him on the cheap, and with a catcher like Perez, maybe got a shot to bringing some greatness out again.
Yeah,
I don't need greatness. I just need you to get me 25 wins.
Yeah.
Come on, Matt Harvey. So maybe it's crazy to think about 6-7 years ago, if you would have said, yeah, the Royals are bringing in Matt Harvey, you would have been like, oh, my God. And then now you're like, okay, maybe he's good.
Yeah.
So it's so crazy how baseball kind of can swing around like that. Let's keep the show even more positive.
Yes.
And move to some Chiefs news.
Oh, yeah.
And everybody knows by now that the Chiefs signed Travis Kelce to an extension, 5-year extension. Yeah. Some 55 something million, whatever. As far as tight ends go, he's third. As far as tight end average goes, he'll be number 3. Really, basically, and I really didn't know this, that the Chiefs were waiting on the Kittle deal to get done, and then the Chiefs were going to base the Kelce deal on the Kittle deal, because Kittle's really getting paid because he is like backbone for that 49ers offense a lot. Where Kelce is a backbone, but also he complements a lot of the other guys like Tyreek and Sammy Watkins and all those other guys we have. And to think about this, I've seen it laid out on Twitter. How many players, as far as key core players on this Chiefs team, are locked in for a while? We don't have to worry about any of our major guys hitting free agency, I think, until 2024 or 2023. 22 maybe? 22? I know Hill and Hardman hit the same year, and I actually think that year they may – I don't know. I say, yeah, it's one of those things where you go, yeah, we'll have to make a choice and, like, pay one or the other. But I thought that this year, and then they somehow figured it out.
Brett Veach is just a magician. And, you're right. We can look – I want to say that they pretty much have the core of this offense for the next 3 full seasons.
Yep.
I believe is the stat I saw that you were alluding to. Yeah. So 3 full seasons with this kind of core offense, and I mean, Chris Jones on defense, obviously, that's a big deal. Everybody kept saying there's no way the Chiefs are keeping all these guys, and then they did it. So, I mean, Brett Veach.
And I think with a little room left over, too, right?
Yeah. Which is really crazy, too.
Because, I mean, they had what? Wasn't it like $137 of cap space or something?
Yeah, something like that.
Not 173. Even, like,
yeah,
I mean,
not even $200.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, it's like Watkins restructures, and then the way they structured Mahomes' deal gave him more room later on or whatever, and then they got to do the Jones, then they go with the Kelce. And then, Veach doesn't have to worry about any big names for a while. His biggest focus will be like, I need to hit my draft picks because I owe a lot of guys a lot of money. So I need to really, really hit on my draft, which actually he has hit on his draft. So I need to hit my draft really good. And then he's also getting, I think the way the contracts are structured, he's actually getting himself some leeway to cut later on if he needs to. If, say, one of those guys, God forbid, one of those guys' his production kind of falls off. So what he'll do is that's how he structured it so that he can make the choice like that. Like, okay, as soon as somebody's production falls off, and probably Mahomes is not in that category at all. No. But a lot of the position, like the skill positions,
right?
So what he'll do is he'll be like, okay, to keep room for da 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 da. Well, I think actually I would think right now actually Kelce's untouchable. I think he's that this is the third contract. Right. This is the chief. You're the chief for life.
This is his last one with the Chiefs, probably.
He'll be 36.
It'll probably be his last contract.
So he'll be 36 years old when it's done.
Here's one thing.
It's awesome.
Here's one thing, though, you got to remember. Patrick Mahomes still living on his old contract, so they're not paying him on that new one yet.
Right.
So that I mean, if they wouldn't be able to do what they're doing right now if they were paying him what they're paying him in 2 years?
Yeah, I think for the next 2 years it's pretty low, and then that year 3 is when that big one starts kicking in. And by year 3, maybe okay, Frank Clark is not great no more, and he probably knowing Veach and those guys, because he has 2 guys, I can't remember their names, that have been kind of pinned as like these salary cap expert guys that he brought in just to do salary cap stuff. They probably structured Matthew and Clark's contract knowing they were going to do this, and then the cap hit won't be as hard if they cut him later on. I don't know. I mean, just from watching him, how these guys are how he's operating, I don't think I've ever seen a team do. I don't think I've ever seen a team do this, to where they literally keep. It feels like every year, like a Super Bowl year, maybe a year afterwards, they lose players, and I feel like we haven't at all.
We lose players or coaches. I mean,
correct.
Really, the Chiefs' staff is intact as well.
But we lost no one.
And here's the thing: they between Patrick Mahomes and Alex Smith